and we're not leaving. We're not leaving until this gets done.
President Biden just toured the devastation left behind by Hurricane Ian.
Gloria Pazmino is live in Fort Myers with the latest details.
President Biden trying to act as comforter-in-chief to this community of Fort Myers. Much of the city still looks like what you see behind me. There's rubble and destruction spread out. Electricity and water is still not running, and true recovery is likely months away.
Today, we have one job, and only one job, and that's to make sure the people of Florida get everything that they need to fully, thoroughly recover.
President Biden toured hurricane-ravaged Florida Wednesday, 1 week after Ian carved a deadly path through the state. More than 100 people were killed by Hurricane Ian, and many have lost their homes.
When we walked out, it was like something out of a war zone. It was just devastating.
Biden met with survivors who have lost their homes and businesses and thanked those on the ground helping these devastated communities.
And the search and rescue teams have knocked on nearly 70,000 doors and rescued over 3,800 people.
First Lady Jill Biden joined the president on an aerial tour, getting a first-hand look at just how widespread the damage is. Residents will be able to use the road to Pine Island that was damaged by the storm days ahead of schedule.
Later today, the public will be able to access this bridge and be able to get back.
Earlier Wednesday, Biden extended the federal disaster declaration for Florida, adding another 30 days of aid to help the long road to recovery.
We're not leaving. We're not leaving until this gets done.
And that was a key promise the president was trying to stress, that the federal government will be here to help the people of Fort Myers and other areas to truly recover. To that end, the president said he will increase the number of FEMA agents so that people can process their claims. Reporting in Fort Myers, Gloria Pazmino.
All right, let's get to some news right here at home.
That's right. An illegal erosion control measure on Oahu's North Shore is sparking frustration and safety concerns among beachgoers. Now, the state is getting involved and warning a potential fine of $15,000 a day if it's not fixed. Our Jolani Martinez has the story.
For years, homeowners near Sunset Beach have been using different types of erosion control materials to protect their property. But beyond these trees, you'll find a portion of the beach covered in concrete that's sparking frustration and safety concerns among beachgoers. Solid concrete along the shoreline of Sunset Beach. DLNR's Office of Conservation and Coastal Lands issued a notice of violation Friday to the owner of this home. An inspection found the foundation, previously exposed and undermined by erosion, is now secured with rebar and cement, and it appears sand was glued or sprayed on the top.
To say that he should be allowed to armor it and build it and defend it at all costs, I think that is a terrible position to be in, and I think he is making it very difficult for the people trying to do the right thing.
The state says the right thing to do for now is to leave it alone, but the owner is hardly the first to take matters into his own hands to try to protect his home. Last month, DLNR said 20 homes along this stretch had illegal erosion control measures. In this case, experts say it could injure someone.
And if someone gets caught in the water with those sharp pieces of cement and the rebar, they could get very seriously hurt. Not to mention just the beach users, the beachgoers that are walking back and forth as that material breaks up. I really doubt that it's going to last very long once the winter swell arrives.
And I find everything from rebar to fencing metal to fence posts to pilings for houses, broken concrete slabs with rebar sticking out, rocks with nuts and bolts lagged into them, cables, ropes, nets, all kinds of things.
The city is considering a bill to require future homes to be built farther from the shoreline, but there are no easy options for those now on the shoreline. The state is giving the owner of this home 30 days to remove the concrete or face a fine. We reached out to the homeowner for comment and are waiting to hear back. Reporting from Sunset Beach, Jolani Martinez, Hawaii News Now.
A developing story from Hawaii Island. Officials say a dive boat captain has died off Mahaiula Beach Park. Another crew member told authorities that the captain had stayed on board during a dive yesterday and was missing when they got back. His body was found about 30 yards offshore following a search of the area with a fire department helicopter. The cause of death is under investigation. Trial for a brutal North Shore murder case has been delayed again. Stephen Brown and Haley Dandaran were arrested in the 2017 death of Thelma Boinville. She was tied up, beaten, and stabbed to death while cleaning a Pupukea home, sparking outrage in the North Shore community. Trial was supposed to start Monday, this after at least 20 other trial dates had been set, but it's been pushed back again until January 2nd. We're reaching out to the judiciary to find out why.
New today, an undisclosed settlement has been reached in the wrongful death lawsuit of an on-set shooting that killed a cinematographer. Cinematographer Helena Hutchins was fatally shot by actor Alec Baldwin on the set of Rust last year. The film's director was also injured. The case against Baldwin, the production companies, and others involved with the movie was filed in February, claiming various industry standards were violated. Hutchins' husband issued a statement saying the case will be dismissed as a result of this legal agreement. Matthew Hutchins will be named an executive producer on the movie and will get part of the profits made as a result of this settlement. Work on Rust is expected to resume early next year. Developing news from the Asia Pacific. The U.S. has stepped up its military presence on the Korean Peninsula. This follows that North Korean missile test earlier this week. Ian Lee has those details.
It's a show of power only the United States can project. Fresh off joint military exercises with South Korea, the USS Ronald Reagan aircraft carrier sails into waters off the east coast of the Korean Peninsula. South Korea's military calls the U.S. decision to move the carrier very unusual, while stating it reinforces the country's alliance with the United States and sends a strong message of strength against North Korean threats. The deployment comes after Pyongyang launched another missile, continuing its record-breaking blitz of tests this year. Alerts sounded in Japan as a nuclear-capable ballistic missile flew over the country on Tuesday.
The United States condemns these actions and calls on the DPRK to refrain from further unlawful and destabilizing acts.
In response, the United States flexed some military muscle with regional allies. Yesterday, U.S. Marine F-35 stealth fighters joined the Japanese Air Force in exercises over the Sea of Japan. On the same day, American and South Korean forces staged missile drills. U.S. multiple launch rocket systems firing a volley into the sea. One failed, causing a fire, but no one was injured. And in the air, fighter jets dropped guided bombs off South Korea's west coast. U.S. military officials say the precision strikes should be seen as a deterrent against further North Korean aggression. Ian Lee, CBS News.
Officials say an abandoned house on Maui was destroyed in a fire last night. The Maui Fire Department said the blaze was reported at around 9:30 p.m. at a structure on South Ke Road. When firefighters arrived on scene, they found the house fully engulfed with flames. Crews worked overnight to extinguish the blaze just before 2:30 a.m., and the cause of the fire remains under investigation. Hawaii Senator Mazie Hirono is holding a field hearing on Oahu with the Veterans Affairs Secretary to discuss services for Hawaii's vets. Here's a portion of her interview with Sunrise this morning.
The field hearing is really to focus on, we have over 100,000 veterans living in Hawaii, 12,000 women veterans, and about 30,000 neighbor islands. And this is a field hearing to focus on what doing to make sure that they get the services that they need and what can we do better.
What are you doing to make sure services are better? Because we know historically there have been stories that have come out about this. People have had to wait for months just to get health appointments.
That was a national issue, the wait times, and so there's been a lot of focus on making sure that we are paying attention to how long they have to wait, and then if they have to wait a really long time, do something about it. That also includes hiring more nurses, more practitioners, which is a real challenge.
Has that improved in the last 5 years?
It's still a challenge. There's a huge nursing shortage in the state of Hawaii, as you know, and that impacts the VA ability also.
For services here, we know that If you live on the neighbor islands, sometimes it's hard to get those services there, so you have to come to Oahu. Is there a way that they can get paid back for traveling?
Yes, that's one of the issues that the Secretary is going to focus on, or I'm certainly going to ask him, because I don't know that it's as clear as it could be as to when this kind of travel can be reimbursed. Clearly, if it's an emergency, that sort of thing, but if it's for elective surgery or elective care, I think that's another matter. But that's a concern for the 30,000 or so neighbor island veterans.
We've seen a huge change in reproductive rights for women across the country. And with the Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade, what impact does this have on VA centers, say, here in Hawaii, for women to access abortions?
One of the things that Secretary McDonough did in response to a letter that I led to the VA to ask them, you have the authority to provide abortion services, do it. And so he responded very quickly. They will provide abortion services in the cases of rape, incest, or for the care or health of the mother. It's not as broad as we would like, but he was very responsive. And I wanted to make sure that everybody in Hawaii knows that abortion is still legal in Hawaii. But believe me, if the Republicans take over the House or the Senate, they are going to push for a national ban on abortion, and that will undo the protections and the services that Hawaii can provide. But it's legal in Hawaii, even if there's the chaos and the fear that the overturning of Roe resulted in nationwide is having an impact in Hawaii too. But my hope is that at least with the VA, that our veterans, female veterans, about 300,000 of them are in childbearing age, that they will get the services that they need. Again, it could be broader.
A possible serial killer in Stockton, California has residents on edge, and authorities are searching for the person or people responsible for at least 6 deadly shootings. Chris Nguyen joins us now to break down this bizarre case. Chris.
Hey, Ashley, Stockton police now say they believe ballistic evidence ties all of these shootings together. Furthermore, they believe the suspected shooter or shooters surveyed the crime scenes ahead of time during the day before carrying out those attacks at night. In California's Central Valley, a possible serial killer at large.
We do believe we could have potential serial killer.
So far, 7 people have been shot, 6 of the victims killed. The possibly connected shootings began in April 2021, with the most recent killing reported just last month. Police say the victims were alone and in dark areas when they were ambushed. All of them shot in the evening or early morning hours.
The average age of the victim is 42. We find that the sex of the victims are mostly male. We also find that the races are mostly Hispanic as well.
Stockton police releasing this video of a person possibly linked to the investigation, where you see the back of a person dressed in all black. The only surviving victim, a woman, telling police the suspect wore dark clothing and a dark COVID-style mask.
We haven't seen this individual committing a criminal act, but seems to be showing up in some of our recent homicides. So it's a person that we definitely want identified.
Meanwhile, victims' family members are waiting for answers. One of those victims, 54-year-old Lorenzo Lopez. His family desperately wants justice.
My mother and father were just heartbroken from this. You know, that's their first baby boy, and I know they have so many memories of, of him.
And until police catch the killer, they're urging the public to stay alert. Police are now offering a $125,000 reward for any information leading to a conviction in the case. Reporting in the newsroom this afternoon, I'm Chris Nguyen, Hawaii News Now. Ashley, back to you.
Now, Chris, besides the ballistic evidence, circumstances surrounding the attacks also show some similarities. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, the police chief says that all of these crimes were committed in dark areas with very limited surveillance cameras. This is why the cases have been so challenging for police to crack. Authorities have not identified a motive behind these killings. The police chief did say that most of the victims were Hispanic, but at this point, they do not believe these to be hate crimes. Ashley?
Chris Nguyen joining us this afternoon. Appreciate the time.
We'll continue to follow that story too, right here from the H&N Digital Center. Want to take you live outside to St. Louis, Missouri. The Show Me State is showing us 79 degrees right now as their temperature goes. That compares to our 82 degrees. Isn't the Gateway Arch beautiful?
Gorgeous.
Have you ever been?
Never been.
I've been up in the arch a few times. It's beautiful.
You can go up in there?
Oh, yeah. It's like an
cool.
elevator. You can go right up
Wow.
and you go right up and over. It's beautiful. Get to see great views of the Mississippi River.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right, let's see what our own weather is up to. A few changes in the works. Here's Guy Hockey.
By tomorrow, light winds take over, and those variable winds mean higher humidity levels and pop-up showers, and that's going to be the case into next week. That's right. So enjoy and savor the trade winds that are here today. And we got some fair conditions, a few scattered showers, yeah, but not a lot of rain. And then tomorrow should be beautiful as well, but it's going to be more humid. And then starting on Friday, we're going to see more clouds, more scattered showers out there. And that semi-damp weather will continue into the middle of next week. So could be a little damp for the Ironman on Saturday.
After a delay due to Hurricane Ian, SpaceX and NASA launched their 6th crewed mission together from the Kennedy Space Center today. Bradley Blackburn has more on the rare moment of cooperation between Russia and the U.S.
It was a picture-perfect launch carrying a crew of 4 from sunny Cape Canaveral to the International Space Station.
There we should see that second engine begin to ignite now.
We got 3 rookies that are pretty happy to be floating in space right now.
On board the SpaceX Crew Dragon capsule, a historic set of passengers, including Commander Nicole Mann, the first Native American woman to go to space, and 38-year-old Russian cosmonaut Anna Kikina.
We will do our job the best way.
She is the first cosmonaut to ride aboard a U.S. spacecraft in 2 decades, and it comes with strained relations between the U.S. and Russia over the war in Ukraine. Before launch, crew members said it hasn't been a distraction.
I'm thinking a lot about my own tasks for space program.
We are not talking about much other than, the mission and what we need to do to be successful.
In July, Russia announced it will end its participation in the International Space Station in 2024. But until then, NASA and Russia's space agency have agreed to a seat swap to help each other stay in space.
We can continue to support each other, to help each other, and to be a good partner to each other, like the best buddy system.
A rare chance to leave some problems on Earth
Let's do it together
and work together in space. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Got some news trending on our H&N digital platforms about another flight. Inter-island flights. That's because there's some awesome deals out there right now. So here's the latest deal I can tell you about. Southwest Airlines just announced it's selling flights for as low as $29 one way for passengers who book before, here's the catch, 6:59 our time tomorrow. So the deal is for between November 29th and February 15th travel dates. Don't count on using this for the holidays, though. There is a period from December 16th through January 9th that is not included. So also keep in mind there's that fare war going on out there between Southwest and Hawaiian Airlines. They were offering airline tickets as low as $39 each way. Hawaiian Airlines matched that, and we saw that happen in the prices. And this also just keeps bringing up the idea and those memories of Go Airline coming into the market back in 2008 is when actually Aloha Airlines was pushed out of the market because of that fare war. And so just keep that in mind. A lot of people talking about that and the developments here with this fare war. I should also say, I checked this morning, there was plenty of options out there for those open dates of $29 flights on Southwest, so $10 cheaper than what they were already offering. There's also some flight options out there if you're on the mainland, none of them coming to or from here for $29, but shorter routes. Let's say I think there was a Boston to Baltimore and a Nashville to Myrtle Beach, all for $29.
Wow.
So if you make it there, you can also hop around.
Have you looked, is Hawaiian matching this $29
I have not
fare?
seen that yet, and I have not seen any releases about that yet, but that's exactly what happened last time.
I wouldn't be surprised if
And
they
this is
do.
such a short window of what
Right.
you have to book. You only have about a day left to go. So, what'd you find?
So, Oscar-winning actress Hilary Swank is joining the First-Time Moms Club, and she's having twins. So, the 48-year-old made her big announcement today on Good Morning America. Swank said being a mother is something she's been wanting for a long time. So, she tied the knot with entrepreneur Philip Schneider in 2018, and she revealed that twins run in the family on both sides and described her pregnancy as a blessing and a total miracle.
I have always been a fan of her
yeah.
as an actress. Just great.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Congratulations.
I know, 48 years old. Go get them.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about some good news now. And so many of us doodle. I do it all the time, stress reliever, always doodling on papers. But there's one guy out there, British artist, who's really taken it to a whole new level. He's made over $1 million with it. So Jeannie Mose has more on that story.
What do you call a guy who makes a living doodling?
Hello there, I'm Mr. Doodle.
Mr. Doodle, aka Sam Cox, is a British artist who covers everything from murals to his Tesla with doodles. But what does Mr. Doodle dream of? Covering his entire house in doodles, we mean everything. This is a guy who's been doodling since he was 3 or 4, and now he's finally living in a house bedecked with doodles inside and out. It took 2 years to accomplish.
My ultimate lifelong dream.
It's his master doodle. What was the hardest thing to doodle over?
I think probably the toilet was quite difficult. Drawing around the toilet, getting all the inside it.
These days, he's flush with success. One of his pieces sold for almost $1 million. Did you doodle your outfit?
Yes, I did, yeah.
And he sells merchandise. He credits street artist Keith Haring as a major influence. Online commenters had mixed feelings. Super cool project, but it would kill me living there. And do you ever wake up and just wish there were like a solid gray wall there?
No, I really love living within the doodle world. It makes me very happy.
In his video debuting his doodled home, there's breaking news. Doodles consuming entire planet. Maybe the planet he's on. Jeannie Mose, CNN, New York.
That is a very complicated video he made there, too.
Wow, that's a nice
impressive.
house.
Very impressive. Yeah. Very nice house, too, for a doodler. All right, time for one more story.
All right, we'll make it quick. Crocs is giving away thousands of free pairs of its clogs to celebrate its 20th anniversary. So it's part of the Free Pair for All Croctober daily shoe giveaway set to run now through Friday. To participate, you must join the Crocs Club. That's free, and opt in for emails. Crocs was first released in 2002, but the shoe brand got a huge bump during the pandemic. The company reported a record annual revenue of $2.3 billion in 2021.
And you just broke the news to everyone. It's Croctober, folks! Yes, been waiting all year for that. That's going to do it for This Is Now on this, is it? Yeah, Wednesday. Made it halfway through this week, guys. Ashley's back first at 4 on KHNL. Have a good one.